Alright guys, welcome back to Gaming Compute. Right now I'm going to record a tidbits episode for you guys. I'm switching the one I'm recording. This is not going to be the one about side hustles. This instead is going to be the one about meme investing. Again, this is a topic that I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not some kind of professional person where you can take my advice and use it for your own financial reasons. I do this as a hobby for educational reasons and to share my own experiences, my personal experiences with things. Don't copy this just because I mentioned it. I just like to give people food for thought to go through and see if it's something that interests them, look more into the topic, and see what appeals to them or doesn't appeal to them. I'm not here to tell you what to do. So just because I say it on here doesn't mean that I'm recommending you to do it or saying that you should or saying that you shouldn't. I'm not saying anything as far as what you should do with your actions other than don't come back and blame me for anything that you try. That is what I'm saying. Don't. And a lot of people say that because we know, but these are my personal experiences with things, what I notice, what I study, what I look at, what I observe. So if you've never had experiences with such things, then this is a good place to start, just hearing what another person has to say. They can talk about their experiences. On here, I talk a lot about side hustles, but I think investments have become an interesting thing for a lot of us, with combined reasons. So we've been for too long now. Over 2 years, we've been in a global Rona situation. And this has led to a lot of common concerns that people have with finances, right? The people who have want to keep it. The people who are losing and already didn't have anything or aren't getting anything want more. I mean, we all rely on money for the most part, right? Unless you live off the grid and you're self-sufficient. And if you are, then, oh man, y'all need to make some podcasts too, you know? It's like you need to get out there and help people too. But those of us who are, in the mainstream, chugging along, not self-sufficient, and depending on our work to lead to income, to be able to feed and clothe and bathe ourselves and have some fun on the side, and then have something to fall back on in hard times if we need savings or retirement when we're older, or if we have a health concern or emergency come up. A lot of people have known about investing for their whole lives. People commonly might work, get a pension, might work, get a retirement type of account, might work, get an account where you can have some savings, might work, might have some funds invested in Robinhood or KuCoin platforms, or Coinbase, or whatever platform you're investing off of or through. Maybe you have a financial advisor through a company like Transamerica for your retirement plan or something. Maybe you have a 401k, a 403b, something like that. People know about putting money in different places. Basically, investing is, putting your money into something with the hopes that you're going to get a return that's worth more than it would have been to you emotionally and financially by not spending that money immediately, right? And a lot of times we can't really predict this, right? We can't super predict it. So I want to talk about some things. Bear with me, but I want to talk about some things because meme investing has become a thing. I'm not here to judge it. I'm not here to even say that I've never used it because I have, but it's a part of our millennial culture. It's definitely a millennial thing that is sweeping the globe, and it just happens to be paired with a time where people have had more time than ever to sit and be online and learn about things and watch about things and listen about things and be glued to social media, because we couldn't even socialize in person. And so we were glued to whoever was talking on the internet or talking on the TV or talking on the radio. And you hear about certain people creating new companies and creating new things, and people put money in it, and you hear people becoming millionaires, and you hear people losing millions of dollars too. That's an interesting thing that they don't often talk about too much to people who lose money. And the reason for that is often because the way the algorithms work is, even if people did post content about what they lost, it might damage their reputation, especially if they're talking about finance, and then it's like, oh well, you made a really bad investment and lost like $2 million. People might stop listening. I follow Pro the Doge. He did gain $1 million. I think he also lost $1 million. And he talks about both. But of course, people are going to click on the ones where you win, right? People want to see the winners. And so because he won, people wanted to, I say win. I say win because it's almost like gambling, honestly. When people put in money and they hold, that's different. You can diamond hands, you can paper hands, whatever, but that's different. But the way the algorithms work is the more things people are clicking on, that kind of stuff gets pushed to the forefront. So not only do people post less about losing millions of dollars, but the ones who do post, people tend to watch more about them actually gaining the $1 million than about the losing. And so a lot of times we don't hear about the losing, but there are plenty of people out there who have lost money as well. And there are a lot of people who have gained money as well. But just keeping that in mind. Some popular ones right now: Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum. There's so much out there, guys. NFTs. You got to mention Elon Musk. But for example, so whenever Elon Musk talks about a dog or his Shiba Inu pet that actually he has an actual animal of, or talks about anything related to actual dog animals, or talks about Dogecoin or mentions something related to it, it pumps up the coin, meaning that more people are buying. So the price is just rising. It can be right before your eyes too. You can literally be sitting there and it's just going up in front of your face, and then you log back in an hour and everything's crashed. So it's kind of like you can, or within a few days, right? I'm exaggerating, but it's happened before within minutes to hours of time where things just like raise really high, then they drop like a freaking, they just drop. Looking out for scams and scheming people. There's a lot of pump and dump scams out there where people are being asked to join groups or creating groups so that those people who created the group get all these people in, and then they get it so that all these people are pumping, and all those people are raising the money. They're all getting money, but then the owners decide to sell massive amounts, and then it leaves all those other people in the group hanging with losses. And so that's a common theme. There are other types of scams too, but that is a very common one. Because people are all paying these people to be in the group, and then they're investing as well as paying for this advice, for these signals and things like this. Does it work for some people? Yes, it does. It does, right? I'm not saying it's impossible to get, to get in at a good time, cash out at a good time. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I wouldn't bet like my entire life savings on it, because there is that possibility of losing all that money too. But studying and knowing how to study and knowing what to study and knowing what to focus on, that's what's gonna help you the most. If you wanna study these things, try to get in on something when it's brand new. I'm not saying buy it necessarily, but try to study something when it's brand new. Say you have $20. Say you have $20, right? And you're just like, I just want to play with this and see what's going to happen. I'm willing to lose $20. I'm willing to lose $20. If it doesn't work out, it's 20, it's not a million, right? Let me just play with some new coin that just came up, something that I hear people talking about. One key is to get in before it starts going live, like kind of knowing the information about it beforehand, so you can get in real early when it's like fractions of a fraction of a cent. Then you can buy way more, way sooner, before it even gets to a cent, before it even gets to, $1, before it even gets to $2. I remember ADA or I'm blanking on the name now. What's ADA? ADA. What's ADA? I gotta look it up. I'm so tired, guys. I'm sorry. ADA. Cardano. How did I forget that? I was like obsessed with Cardano. Cardano is a little bit over $2. It's $2.01. There was a time when people were like, Cardano's never going to get to $2, right? And this market right now is also another thing that, a lot of us have never seen anything like this. I've looked at the stock market and observed it more than I've actually been involved personally with money in it. And just from a bystander's perspective, just looking at it even, and I do more than look now, but even when I was just looking, oh man, I can't even tell you guys, even when I was just looking, guys, there are a lot of things that I have seen that I've never seen before the Rona stepped up and started just banging away at different things in our lives, such as how the stock market has been moving. I've never seen anything like this in my life, and it's a little bit exciting, but it's also a little bit scary. But for example, let me see, I can read you some of my investments. I'm comfortable with reading about the investments I have in Coinbase, and I spread things out. I use KuCoin, I use Coinbase, and I use Robinhood, and I also use my retirement account for index funds and just my retirement in general and other types of investing through that account, because I have a larger amount of money in that account, so it actually makes more sense to invest more of that versus the money that I'm actually using from my paychecks, right? So for example, I want to say Saturday, and it's Friday now. It's almost a whole full week round, just one day shy. Last week in my Coinbase portfolio balance, because I did cash out a lot of stuff and I did move a lot of money other places, I had $145 in there, and I needed a number I could kind of like track. So I had $145 in there. Today I have $168 in there, a little over that. It's not a lot of money. I mean, I know where I'm going to invest more, and I've cashed out a lot of things, moved around a lot of money. It's my own thing. Don't hate on me. It's not a lot of money. I know for a lot of people, $168 is like nothing. But, I mean, that's over the course of a week. Mind you, before this, I was losing a lot of money. And there was a point when I only had Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I had only gotten these through, like playing games online and stuff that would give you like fractions of Bitcoin. And so, yeah, I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have Ripple, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. Sorry, we're loading here. Stellar Lumens, Cardano, Axie Infinity, and Shiba. I don't have Doge on here. I believe that's in my Robinhood. But I mean, now it just says $169. And so, I mean, things are increasing, decreasing as I'm looking at them. One thing I notice over time, even when I've sold, and I just literally admitted to you guys that I do sell. I've totally paper hands things before, and I've totally sold too early, and I've totally gotten impatient, and I've totally been like, screw this, I want to go snowboarding now. I'm just going to like cash out and go do this other thing I want to do really badly. And, you know, I'm okay with those decisions. You know, I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just mostly trying to study things too. So I'm not too disappointed. But also there are stocks that I've invested in, like Moderna and those types of things, like, or Neo or Tesla, things like that I bought in real low, like when I first started hearing about these things. And then I was like, I'll sell, you know, it's like $15, like whatever, I'll sell. It's not going up fast. And if you go back and look at those today, it's like, you know, they're a lot more than they would have been like a year ago, 2 years ago. So a lot of times people say if you're not going to hold long term, consider investing differently. But I will do a whole different segment about investments. But with meme investments, the difference is that social media is pumping things. And again, I don't hate on it. I just think it's cool in a way, because before, what would raise stocks, right? What would raise the price of something from maybe like a $2 stock to like a $20 stock, right? That company would have to be doing better for some reason or another, right? Maybe it's Black Friday sales. Maybe it's a certain time of the year for travel, and that's a travel agency or something that makes it so that there's more coming into the company, right? But I don't think we've ever seen before how Twitter and Instagram and all these other platforms have so much power. Especially when you have, you know, people who are knowledgeable on there, and then they're like, you know, tweeting about their dogs and stuff. I mean, I'm not hating on Elon Musk. I think he's super intelligent. I think it's really cool. I'm just looking at it like, I mean, like, he's making money too, right? I mean, like, a lot of money. He's probably got a lot more invested than what I've got invested, I'm pretty sure. And so if he wants it to raise, and he knows this is a strategy for even him to pump it, he can just pump it, and he's gaining too, right, guys? So if you think about it like that, it's like, it's very interesting. A lot of people can pump for their own advantage in a lot of ways. Social media is very powerful. But we're learning a lot about this through social media too. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Thanks for listening, guys.